Is it possible that an ancient mystery lies behind the events of our world, the leaders of our times, and the course of our lives? Could this mystery lie behind everything from world wars, current events, and even an American president? Jonathan Cahn, the New York Times bestselling author of The Harbinger, The Paradigm, and the Book of Mysteries, now brings The Oracle, the Jubilee Mysteries Unveiled.
Well, Jonathan joins us now, and it's great to have you.
Great to be here.
We got another blockbuster here, The Oracle. Tell us about it. What are you trying to do with drawing attention to the Jubilee year?
Yeah, The Oracle. It's got to be I think the biggest mystery I've ever written about, because it's everything. It's the secret really behind the past, the present, current events, the future, end times, template of the end times. And is so big, it has everything from, it includes everything from Moses to Mark Twain, from the prophet Jeremiah to Donald Trump, as you know. And it's really the God of the Bible.
I've never heard Moses and Mark Twain in the same sentence.
But they're together. That's
yes.
the amazing thing, And Mark Twain is actually is a piece of the puzzle of prophecy and Israel. But the thing is that I just watched your segment before about the falling away. But this is showing the culture says that God is from the past, and the God of the Bible is totally, gigantically real, and he is behind all the events of what are happening. And the Oracle is revealing that, first of all, you have the Jubilee Mysteries, you mentioned. That is, the 50th year, you return home, you restored what you lost. Well, God said in the end times, I'm going to bring Israel back to the land, as we know. Bringing that. Well, the amazing thing is it follows the Jubilee pattern of coming home. Every 50th year, this thing happens. A major prophetic event happens. There's a mystery called the Parasha mystery, which is the scrolls in the Jewish people. There are these scrolls that they open up on the Sabbath, and they read the appointed word. It's been appointed from ages past. But the amazing thing is, as they read them, at key times, the events they're reading are taking place in the world, again and again and again, up to our day. So it is really, it's a gigantic thing that encompasses everything and what is coming. And there's not just the events, but even people are born at exact times, given exact names that are part of the mystery, starting with Mark Twain, going down to Donald Trump. But it's really everything, and it's really also saying it's not just what he's doing in the world, but the same God is the God of our lives. He is in every event.
All right, well, let's focus it down to Jerusalem.
Yes.
Because I think Jerusalem
Absolutely.
is the key piece.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
the recognition of Jerusalem as the undivided capital of Israel.
Yes.
That occurred 51 years.
No. Well, let me show you. Well, first of all, the first Jubilee. No, it's great. We're going to get it. The first Jubilee year in the Oracle is 1867. That's when Mark Twain. There's a prophecy that the stranger shall come to the land and bear witness. And he says it's Mark Twain. He actually comes. He bears says the same words that that Moses said. And the thing is that, and then all these things start taking place in that year. That the release of the land begins then. Jerusalem, the city of David that's been hidden for 2,000 years, is revealed, comes back in the land. Everything, million things. But then, if you go 50th year from there, it's 1917, is the Balfour Declaration. The land returns to the Jewish people. Go fast forward 50th year, 1967. What you did on, and Jerusalem is restored to the Jewish people in the 6-Day War. But the one thing they never got was the recognition of the legal, the world giving recognition. Well, that happens by Donald Trump, as you said. That's in 2017. That's in the year it happens. But the thing is that Gordon, I'll say something about Trump, if that's okay. Yeah. Well, first of all, in 67, when they get to the wall, and you're really an expert on this, because they get to the wall or they get to the Temple Mount, they hear the sound of the shofar, the sound of the Jubilee. Yeah. It's the Rabbi Goren. And the thing is that in the mystery,
he has to borrow a shofar to do it.
And the shofar, I never talked about this. The shofar he borrows is the priestly shofar. It's from a priest. And on Jubilee, it's a priestly shofar that ushers in.
How do you know it's a priest?
It was his father-in-law. His father-in-law was David Cohen, the priest. He was also a Nazarite. And he went to him. He gave him his shofar. He's a priest. There's a whole mystery of the priest to this day. But
I didn't know he was a Nazarite.
Gigantic. He
dedicated his life.
He was a Nazarite, and there's a whole other thing.
I didn't know they existed anymore.
Yeah, he was called the Nazarite of Jerusalem. He said he's not leaving his house until Jerusalem is restored. And so they actually, Goren sends for his father-in-law, brings him, and there's a mystery because the days of the separation of the Nazarite end only by bringing him to the sanctuary.
Yes.
So here it was the...
You have to carry him.
And the appointed word, and the one who drives the Jeep is a priest. He's a soldier who's a priest, and they're not trying to do it. It just happened. And the word that was appointed all around the world in the 6 Day War was you shall bring the Nazarite to the sanctuary, and the days of separation will be over. I mean, this is how it is, and I've never talked about that. But the thing is that when the Jubilee comes, the land returns to its original state. So here you have Rabbi Goren sounding the shofar on the Temple Mount. What was the Temple Mount originally? It was a threshing floor. In Hebrew, the word for threshing floor is Goren. It's his name. He's named Rabbi Threshing Floor. He's born in the year 1917, the other Jubilee. He's 50 years old, sounding it, and the other meaning for his name, Goren, is horn, Rabbi Horn. Okay, so God is in all these things. But if you fast forward to the 50 years, or the 2017, you have the Jubilee Declaration. And the Jubilee is, on the Jubilee, the trumpet sounds. Jubilee, trumpet sound. What does the name Trump mean in English? Trumpet. So here's President Trumpet. President Trump is appointed. He comes to power when? The year of Jubilee. It says he'll sound forth to the land. He's been sounding forth ever since. And when he sounds forth, that's when the land, the trumpet sounds, returns to its original owner.
I thought he missed the time.
No.
If you go by there was a whole visit on the 50th anniversary. I thought for sure he was going to say, I'm going to move the embassy.
Oh, okay, for the moving of the embassy. Okay, yeah, the declaration is in 2017.
But that's from the Senate.
No. The Senate, okay, makes a resolution calling for the president to recognize it on June 5th, the absolute thing. But then Trump, before the year is over, before 2017 is over, a month before, he issues the declaration in 2017. But then, and the thing is that when he did it, that the Bible speaks about the declaration going forth by Cyrus, of recognizing Jerusalem and return, and it says it happens after 70 years. If you go back from when Trump did that, 70 years, it takes you to 1947, Israel is voted into the world. I looked at the exact day on the Hebrew calendar, and the day is Kislev 17. And if you fast forward 70 years, and it says after, so the next day is Kislev 18, what does it fall on? It falls on December 6th, which is the exact day that Trump issued the Jerusalem Declaration. 70 years to the day.
So he hit the 70th.
Yes, and also that when it was dedicated, as you said, it was May 14th, it was exactly 70 years from the birth of Israel. I mean, so all this, and I'm sure Trump is not studying Leviticus, to try to make it happen.
I'm sure he isn't either, but I remember thinking he has to do this. He has to recognize Jerusalem as the capital.
You thought that
at the 6 Day War, he's there.
Yeah.
He's got the world's attention.
Yeah.
He's got the world stage. Make the declaration.
Yeah,
and
but
he didn't.
But he did it at this time, which was exactly this day, the exact time. And so you see all these things converging. And the other thing, when Trump was born, there was a word, actually, that was appointed for the day. He was born on the Sabbath. And the word has to do with the bringing forth of the trumpet, and so it's like Trump is waiting for that year of Jubilee. But also, the other thing is that people don't know if they remember the Harbinger. It's done in a story around it. So there's these 7 doors of Revelation, and each one is a different thing. The 6th door deals with the future, and one of the big mysteries of the end times is the Jubilee mystery, that it's the mystery of return. And one of the things of the end times is that everything has to return to where it was at the beginning of the age. Jewish people were in Israel, so they have returned. But it's also the world. If you look back, at the beginning of the age, the world was obviously not Christian. It was pagan. It was anti-Christian. What are we witnessing in this world? You just had a story on it.
Yeah, we're watching it
falling away. Yeah, a return to where it was at the beginning. But the good side of this is
that's horrifying.
Yeah, and we're watching it every day, in the news. But on the other hand, the other part is that the church at the beginning was radical, revolutionary. Book of Acts, the most powerful. God is calling the church to return to where it was. And that is, we saw there'll be a falling away, but those who stand for God, he will anoint them for this time, that it could be our greatest hour. So it's a mystery of everything, really everything. And when you look at the end of the Bible, what is it? It's everything returns. We lost Eden, we departed, now we're coming home, to Jerusalem, actually. And everything gets restored. The whole salvation is Jubilee, and our whole walks, Jesus is our Jubilee, is about being restored to what it is. So it's really everything.
Okay, we can't cover all this in the time allowed, but you can read it. The book is called The Oracle, Jubilee and Mysteries Unveiled. It's available right now wherever books are sold. And thanks for being with us.
Thanks, George.
Yeah.